Okay, so this is probably the third time I've tried to retake this thing. About me worried about my account details. Obviously, I'm using my account to tell which parts I've got. So this may be, well, I'd say long-ish, but I'll try and keep it short as possible. And so this video is going to be about justification of my parts. So, as you may see in my recent videos, I've did a £300 PC build. I built it myself. Now the actual cost was £250, but because I was factoring in cost of like a decent power supply, yes, I know I didn't. I was naughty. I got my OEM cheap freebie one, you know. Well, what? And that's again one of the things I'm going to upgrade in the future. And speaking of upgrading things in the future, this is what this build is going to be. The whole point of this build was a kind of an experiment, really, to see how upgradable a PC system can be. There's two rules to this. One, the motherboard has got to be exactly the same. So I can't change the motherboard and I can't change the case. Because then again, you know, that's kind of arguing, well, is it a new computer? It's like the whole broom handles and brushes. You know, so it kind of becomes a brand new computer. So anyway, enough of me rambling. So this is the very first part I'm going to talk about. This is the main motherboard itself, and it's on the screen here. Okay, so AMD A8X chipset, blooming good. It's a blooming good motherboard, and for £8, it's, you know, it is a lot of money for a motherboard of this build. But then again, it's a thing that can't be changed. So that I'm going to spend a bit on it, to be fair, and it's worth every single penny. Every single penny. It's a fantastic motherboard. I have not anything to fault. So this is kind of what's on the front. So it's got 3 PCIe Express 16, I believe. Got 2 small PCI. I don't really know what they are. I think they're just from smaller cards. Maybe a small SSD PCI ones. I've been out of the game too long. So yeah, this is the RAM. This is quad channel, so I can pretty much assure you that I'll be probably doing that. As it stands, I've only got one memory module in there. Yeah, it's that thing I was going to skip. I've pretty much skimped on, so I'll go a bit later. Plenty of SATA 6GB. SATA drives, yeah, cables, that's the one. 6, so plenty of those. There's also one spare. I think never sure why that was. I think it does say in the manual somewhere what that specific one is. Obviously that's the debug tool. It's pretty handy, though it's not exactly the most accurate of codes, but it gives plenty. Also, another thing, plenty of case fan headers. Big thumbs up for me, because cooling in any case. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm using fans. I know. Okay, I'm not a purist. I'm not a water cooling fan. Maybe in the future I might do one, but for now, keeping it cheap, keeping it simple. Fan cooling. So obviously you know that's CPU chipset itself. I've got the AMD A8 CPU, and I'll go into all that later on. But it is a pretty high-end board. I/O ports. So 2 USB 2s, 4 USB 3 ports. Obviously this is a combo PS2 keyboard and mouse. Would you use it? Yeah, you may want to. This is the Purity sound, and it is fantastic. The sound driver and the sound chip, it's just so fantastic. I've never heard really like it in my cheap Sony speakers. So yeah, and this is, I think it's the eSATA port. Not that I actually know what it's things you put on there. I imagine some use for it. There's 2 HDMI ports built in. Obviously, this graphics card's got no built-in graphics card, and that's because it's an APU build, which is what I'll go through in a minute. An APU means basically a graphics card and CPU in one chip. So, advantages and disadvantages of both. So, I think it's a gigabit Ethernet. I'm not sure myself, but it does the trick. Yeah. So, I want to go a bit more into. So I'm going to scroll down slowly and see if you can pause at any point and then have a read. And obviously this probably completely. Oh, I need Sports Dual Channel. Okay. Well, that's that one sorted then. I need Sports Dual Channel. Not Quad Channel, but. Oh yeah, the dehumidifier function is quite interesting in this. I think it was definitely a marketing gimmick. But still, I suppose it has its own use. So okay, yes. So next one, it'll be the case. I'm not sure if they have the case still. It's called a Sharkoon. Do they have the case? Let's have a look, shall we? They probably don't, but then again, it's not the most interesting case known to man. Yeah, it's like this one, but instead of two fans at the front, it's only got one, and there's no acrylic bit in the middle, basically. So that's kind of the. I think it's obviously gone out since. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting case. Does the job. I wouldn't have been in. Let's see, next thing. Well, or is it frozen again? It keeps this screen recorder keeps freezing out my computer. Be right back. Without all the things, my computer just freezing up there. This is my Macintosh, by the way, so don't think it's going to be any sort of performance kind of thing to do with my big main machine. And actually, it's pretty impressive, the performance, despite its cost. And so this is one of the skimps I made, and to be fair, I wish I didn't. This is the AMD A8-7600, It's around about 3.8, it turbo clocks to 3.8. And well, yeah, the problem is it's a locked multiplier, so I can't overclock it. Wish I chose one that did, but there we go. I can always upgrade it in the future, and that's the whole point of this build: upgradability. Now, I mean, even though it's not overclockable, it delivers a pretty good performance. Especially coupled with a solid state drive. I'm not having any slowdowns, no crashes, no nothing. It is pretty good, and there's no reason I can complain really. Good wattage as well. You can only very slightly overclock the GPU. I did mine to 760 megahertz, but then again, I added a discrete graphics card later on. 7260X, so that's a lot better than this GPU anyway. So yeah, well, it's a video, isn't it? Because I've just avoided a massive crap ton of things I've got to tell you about. So obviously the most interesting question, I'm going to have to throw it out there, is why AMD? And well, before I start getting the flooding in the complaint in the description, or in the comments about, oh, let me think, AMD is better, no, Intel is better, no, AMD is better. My friends, it is simple. I shall appease both gods in one simple way. Okay, so for the left of the red team, AMD. Value for money. Yes, value for money. You see, for all budget builds, AMD is your king. It could be a good performance for the money, because they're relatively cheap, and well, let's face it, it's a pretty good processor company. So, Intel for the green team, well, blue, green, yeah, whatever, blue team. Spec. This is because, let's face it, Intel are faster, better, more efficient than AMD's processors. But then again, you're paying through the nose for it. Like, anyone knows that if you want to be a proper i7, top of the range, Nazi, PC super race, you're going to spend like nearly, well, I can't remember how even expensive they are now. They're at least £200-300, I must admit. But yes, you're going to pay for your performance increase. Whereas AMD, well, good value for money. So I hope that's pretty much quashed a rebellion of comments like, "Oh, you're a blimmin' AMD fanboy. No, you're an Intel fanboy." And yeah, I'm not going to get into that one. The second one, why has he got an APU? Why isn't he doing it for the FX series processors? Like I said, guys, experiment. And obviously, I already have a discrete graphics card, which is the R7 260X. And this is obviously the current gen date this recording, a current gen system. It's a current gen APU. And well, as many might think, this is a pretty bad CPU. Well, the socket's there. It's a brand new socket. So who knows what AIM is going to throw at you. So I hope that answers, well, at least a few questions. The memory. This is the Kingston Hyper-Fury X 4GB module. And yes, okay, this is where I skimped a bit. 866 that speed of memory is pretty good. Not the best, not the worst, but for an APU you need a pretty fast memory rather than actually the physical size. But it's something I'm going to upgrade later on. The SSD I wanted to go for, I originally wanted to go for the Kingston SSD now, but that was taken before I had a chance at the time. It was out, so I went for a 120GB one. Why? Okay, well, not low capacity, quite very low capacity actually, but I've already got loads of hard drives knocking around anyway, so if I needed to bump up the storage, well, there it is. And mainly just to put my OS on anyway. I put a couple of programs on. Main workhorse is this computer anyway. So yeah. And I swear this is the last. Because I know it's 13 minutes and you want to have another cup of tea, slice of cake. Watch PewDiePie. Go on. Go, I know it. You are a fan. You are a fan, I know it. Yes, I'm not a squeaker. I'm 23. I have a car. I have a job. But, yep, more hate is going to be thrown at me. Meh, oh well, life happens. Thank you guys for watching. And I'm not going to edit this using iMovie. I can't be bothered. And yes, this is Screencast-O-Matic, the screencast I'm using. Pretty good so far. Yeah, so I'm going to be posting more videos as I upgrade the system. So hopefully 50 years down the line I'll still be at it. I'm probably arguing, oh, it's still right for my needs. Then, you know, everyone's got their trillion core processor and, well. Well, we'll get to that bridge once we cross it, shall we? Thank you very much, everyone, and thanks for listening.